Hi guys, welcome back to the Vanity. It's Jennifer. So today what we're going to do is just chit chat, get ready with me, kind of a first impressions. We're just going to sit down and do my makeup. I've got some new items that I really haven't tested out. I haven't tried it all. I just picked out some new things from Ulta. We've got maybe like a couple of mostly drugstore, and like one or two things that are not really drugstore. And yeah, so I just wanted to try some new things and sit down with you guys, so let's just jump right into it. So first off, I had a pretty nice PR package sent over from Pixi, and it had some mists in it, and there is one that's the Rose Glow Mist with 7 flower oils. It's just an antioxidant botanical boost. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and spray that on my face first. And I can't really tell if you have to shake it up or not, so I'm just going to shake it up. The mister on that is really nice and fine, but they sent me like all the stuff from their rose line. And I love the way that roses smell. I'm not huge into floral, but rose is a floral that I like. I purchased the Dr. BRANDT Pore Refiner Primer, and then I also picked up the L'Oreal Visible Lift, and it's their Luminous Serum Tint in Rose. I heard Emily Noel talk about this. I believe she's the one that talked about it. It's a dupe for like that Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter or something or another. That one I don't have. I was really interested in to try it, but when I saw her dupes video, I was like, well, maybe I'll try this one out first. So I think I'm going to start with the Pore Filling Primer. No, actually, I think I'm going to start with this one and then do some of the pore filling primer. So again, I got the color Rose here, and it's just got like a little squeezy tube, and hope you can see the product there. It doesn't look like too luminous, so I think it'll just give like a nice healthy glow. It's got an interesting smell. I don't know what it is, but it's not super strong, but it's definitely noticeable, whatever it is. I'm not sure what's in it. I don't think it's exactly what I see happens to people's skin with the Charlotte Tilbury one, but it is just like a nice moisturizing primer with a slight luminosity to it that doesn't have any like glitter or sparkle or anything that you can really obviously see. You can put it on before makeup, mix it in with makeup, or use it as a highlighter. I'm not noticing anything super different about it. I guess as far as the way that it feels, it does feel more like a moisturizer than necessarily like a primer or anything. It doesn't have any slip. It does absorb in. It does leave your skin feeling like slightly tacky, I guess. Yeah, but it gives like a nice healthy glow. So if you just wanted a little bit of a glow without any obvious shimmer, I think it would be a good choice. So then we have the Dr. BRANDT Pores No More Pore Refiner. I think I just really heard good things about this. That's why I picked it up. Oh, interesting. Does it have a little bit of a tint? I guess it does. It's got kind of like a mentholy smell to it, which is interesting. It does feel like kind of your standard pore filling primer where it has like almost that dry slip feeling to it. It's not overly silicone-y, but it does have a feel between like the Smashbox Photo Focus one and like the NYX pore filling one or the Benefit Professional. It's kind of in between those. I'm not big into using pore filling primers, but I just had heard really good things about that, so I wanted to give it a try. I picked up a new foundation and the new E.L.F. concealer. So I picked up the Revlon Candid, PhotoReady Candid, and the color that I picked mine up in was 220. The only thing I have to say is this is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be when I purchased it. It is less than an ounce. It's 3/4 of an ounce. So it is less than what you normally get for a foundation. And I want to say that this was like $12, $10, something like that. So it is a little bit pricier, but not way out of line for Revlon. It's just supposed to be a natural finish, and the only thing I have to say about picking out the colors online, they don't tell you the undertones. Like a lot of times we'll say fair with yellow and pink undertones, or fair with pink, or fair with neutral. And this didn't say that at all, so I'm hoping that this shade is okay. Again, I picked up 220 in Sand Beige, and hopefully it'll be okay. I'm just going to use, I believe this is the Real Techniques sponge. Yes. And so you can see the consistency is a little bit on the thicker side. So I'm just gonna start with one squirt. So far that color looks to be, yeah, it seems to be a pretty good match for me. I like more of a natural finish because that way if I want to make it dewy I can, and they tend to last a little bit better than any kind of like a dewy foundation. And I don't like to touch up. Like I go to work early, early in the morning, so my makeup's usually getting put on at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and it needs to last until 6:30, 7 o'clock. I don't want to have to touch up. I don't want to look like a greasy mess. I also don't want to look like flaky and cakey at the end of the day. So far I think it's okay. I think the finish is definitely more of a natural finish. As you can see, the skin isn't like super matte. It does have a little bit of glow. Now again, we did put that L'Oreal Visible Lift Luminous primer underneath, but it gives me a decent amount of coverage. I would say it's like a light medium coverage. I don't know exactly what it's supposed to be as far as coverage. Oh, it does say medium buildable, so I would say so. I have like a little discoloration here. You can still see it, but I feel like the amount of coverage that it gave me is generally what I look for in a foundation for every day. I'm just going to go in with a little bit more on my sponge and see if I can just get a little bit more coverage here in the jaw area where I tend to break out and have a little bit more redness. Yeah, and that gave me a little bit of additional coverage. I think the color looks really great. Like I took it down on the neck and you can't see where I, started and stopped. So that's a pretty good match. And I'm going to kind of leave that for now because I don't know whether or not it's going to dry a little bit, and then I'll lightly set it, but I don't want to set it right now, just in case. Then I'm going to go in with the concealer, which I picked up the new E.L.F. Camo concealer. They do have quite a bit of colors, but I was surprised at how light this one was when I received it. I picked up light peach. I don't remember in like the shade range exactly how far down that was in the shade range, but this is like, this is almost white, so I'm almost positive this is going to be too light, and I feel like it wasn't really close to the lightest end of the spectrum. So if you're very fair, I feel like this is going to have quite a bit of options for you. I haven't seen them in person, so I don't know how deep the deep shades go, but pray for me that this is not too light. Oh boy. Yeah, that's light. So I'm definitely not going to be able to use this to conceal any spots, but we'll see about using it on the under eye. Oh my gosh, that is so light. Like, look at that, it's so light. No. I knew I shouldn't have picked these out online. I mean, for me, I guess that could be really good for just neutralizing my eyelids if I want to use it that way, but this is not going to be a good color for me for concealer. I don't like to brighten all. I don't want to be that bright. I don't want to be that bright. But it blended out okay. As far as the way that it looks, it is a little bit into my fine lines, like underneath my eyes. Now, we haven't set it or anything, but it does look kind of crepey already. That could be because the color is extremely light too, but I don't know. So far, just off of first time use, and this obviously being too light of a color for me, I feel like I like their HD Lifting Concealer better than this one. But as far as the consistency wise, I do feel like it is pretty comparable to the Shape Tape. I mean, they even went as far as like putting that really obnoxiously big doe foot applicator on there. But I think I'll still be able to use it because it will do a very good job, like you can tell, at neutralizing out my lid space and just brightening that. Oh my god, I feel like that. Look at that! It's way too light. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the foundation just to try and fix that because it's not It ain't right. Okay, so besides for that still being way too bright for my liking, I think we're gonna move on. Next up on the list that I'm gonna use is something from Flower Beauty. This is called their Blush Balm. I've heard a few people talk about this, and it's a liquid or creamy type blush, and it says silky lightweight texture. I just was interested to see how these might compare to the Glossier liquidy creamy blushes, because I do have 2 of those, which I've really been loving using. So I thought, heck, if there's a drugstore option that's less money, great. So it comes in this interesting little tube here. Oh, and the color that I picked mine up in is Pinched. So it was more of like one of the neutral ones. And I'm just going to squeeze some onto the back of my hand. Ooh, interesting. Coming down the little clear container. The consistency when it comes out feels much the same as the Glossier ones, so I'm super excited about that. It's more lightweight than like the heavier creams that you have. So generally how I like to do this is I'll get some on the sponge and then I'll just like pat it out. Yeah, I mean, you can tell it gave a little bit of color. It's definitely sheer. I didn't know what the intensity was going to be, so I didn't want to go for one of the more bolder colors. I was kind of leaning towards doing a bolder color just because I was super interested to see what it would look like, but I also didn't want it to not, I didn't want to not wear it. So I'm going to do another dollop and do the other cheek. I feel like this one just gives a little bit of like a peachy, bronzy type of flush to the cheeks. It's not super noticeable. If you have medium to deep skin, it's not really going to show up on you. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. What do you guys think? Can you even see it? I can notice a little bit. It's very natural. It's going to be like a no makeup type of makeup, but I think we're gonna move on. So I did have this powder from Pacifica. I don't really, actually, maybe I have like a lipstick or 2 from Pacifica, but they're not my favorite colors. The formula was okay, but I saw this and it looked interesting. It's their Pacifica Crystal Rays Luminous Translucent Setting Powder. Yeah, so I just thought it seemed interesting to have a luminous setting powder. I don't have anything like that. It does come in a little container like this. And then this little topper does stay connected, and it has, I think it's kind of washed out, you won't be able to see it, but it has that mesh lining, and then the powder is a really fine silky powder on top. Looking at it, it has like a slight pink shift to it, and I don't know why I smelled it, but it doesn't smell like anything. So let's see. Maybe let's add some to like the cheek area and see what that looks like. So I'm just going to take this Real Techniques setting brush and I'm just going to dab into that lightly here, and I've got quite a bit, so I'm just going to tap off the excess on here and then just work it into my brush in the cap. I don't know if I could put this all over my face because I can already see the pink shift in it, and I'm not sure if that'll pick up on camera, but it's pretty. How would you put that all over your face? Can you guys see that? I don't know. So I don't think I can set my whole face with this. Yeah, I'm not sure that I'm gonna get the most use out of this. I mean, it's not detectable in that it looks like glitter, but you can definitely see that there is a pink shift to the skin, and it's not a super pale pink. Like it is, but it isn't. It's got almost like a purpley pink hue to it. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm going to take a little bit of a fluffier brush. This is the E.L.F. Powder brush that I use to set my face most days. And I'm just going to again get some on the brush and in the cap and just set my face the way that I normally would. Now it does say it's what, a finishing powder? Is that what it said? setting powder. No, so it is something you're supposed to set your whole face with. Okay, well, we're gonna go for it. Okay, so I did have to use something else to set my under eyes. So I did go in with NYX HD banana powder like I do most days. I'm just gonna take a little bit more of that Pacifica powder. Sorry, it's getting really sunny, so I might be a little bit washed out. But I'm gonna go for it and just set the rest of my face. I don't notice the pink shift setting the rest of my face. So it just, where I concentrated it a little bit in my, on my cheekbone, you can see the pink shift. I'm not used to also doing my makeup in front of like my window like this. So I feel like sometimes that throws me off a little bit because your skin just looks different in natural light than opposed to if I'm sitting behind me with my makeup lights on. So I'm going to check that out before I give you guys my final thoughts when we're done. But otherwise, I feel like everything is sitting pretty nicely. It does look like a little bit powdery right now, but I have a setting spray from Pixi that we'll try and use to get those powders to go down a little bit. But I'm just going to leave it for now because we're going to move on. So the next two items that I picked up are for the brows, so that's what we'll do next. I picked up the E.L.F. Wow Brow to see if it compares to the Boy Brow or to those types of brow products. And then I picked up the Maybelline, what's this? TattooStudio Brow. It looked interesting. I did pick up a color that was significantly lighter than my brows. I feel like I say this all the time, but my eyebrows are black and I don't fill them in black. I don't want to fill them in dark brown. I don't want to fill them in chocolate brown. I just want them to fill in with like a lighter neutral color because I don't necessarily want them to be all black. I just don't want them that dark. So I picked up medium brown and I hope that that works out okay. This brow looks, the brow thing, oh, I can't spit that out. The brow pencil, it's not really a pencil. I think it's more of like a marker. It looks really interesting. It's got like 4 little, I don't know what to call them, marker tips, but it's like one marker tip that's like at an angle and then has other tips. So we're gonna go ahead and try it out and see how it works. So I'm just gonna use a spoolie here to comb my brows out. So this brow here is usually the one that looks the best. So we're gonna start with that one and see how this applies. Oh, I'm kind of nervous, Okay, let's test it out on our hand first. Oh, okay. Ooh, okay, so it's just gonna give you like really light strokes. It does dry, and right now it's not like rubbing off, but it's a nice light color. So let's go ahead and bring this just over here so I can see. I don't know, does it look like it did anything? Let me back this up a little bit so I can see them side by side. Putting it on, it seems really dry, like it's not doing much. Looking at it on my hand, it does kind of seem like it dries out. Like, I don't know, like you're not always getting color. And I feel like I kind of did myself a disservice by going lighter, but I was really afraid that it was going to be too dark. So I don't know. And if it's tattoo, does it stay on longer than like a normal brow product? It says brows go naturally filled with precise hair thin strokes. Create yours in an NY minute. Long wear tint for no hassle wear that lasts up to 24 hours. Our exclusive designed 4-prong micro comb tip draws precise lines that mimic brow hair. Does not transfer or smudge. So I feel like maybe somebody who doesn't have as much hair for their brows, this would be really a great way to just get sort of that microbladed look. But for me, I have hairs, so the hair strokes just really aren't doing much. They're not filling in much. On my viewfinder, I think I can tell that this brow is a little bit darker. It does look slightly more filled in, but I don't know. Let's just do the other one. First impressions, I just don't think that this is the product for me. I just want to be able to do something a little bit quicker, don't have to build it up quite as much. I think for the colors, you know, don't be afraid of those. Obviously, they're not as pigmented as I thought they were going to be. Maybe I could have gone with a little bit darker one and I wouldn't feel like it would take me so long to do it. However, I do feel like if you don't have that much brow hair, it would be an interesting product to try, but you'd have to be really conscious of where you're putting it and the direction of the hairs and things like that. So next up, we're going to try this little brow gel from E.L.F. This is, again, their Wow Brow, and I got it in neutral brown. It's supposed to be their volumizing fiber gel for your brows, and I can see the little fibers on it. It does have a nice little spoolie, so let's just go ahead and put those on. It would be amazing if the formula is something similar to Boy Brow so that I wouldn't have to buy that again, because Boy Brow is kind of expensive, but I do like it. So so far I think it's doing a pretty good job. You know, I already have stuff in my brows, so I can't tell if it's going to function much the same right now as Boy Brow, but otherwise, as far as a brow gel, like, I like the spoolie. The consistency is like not too liquidy, not too creamy, so I feel like it's so far it's pretty good. You know, I'm combing up these ones at the front and they are staying up there. This one's slightly dry and it doesn't feel like tacky, like crunchy. Yeah, I like this. So far this is a win. I think that this brow gel is going to work out nicely. I do believe they have quite a few colors too, so and this one didn't really add too much tint. It is a little bit lighter than my brows, which is perfectly fine, but I know that they have a darker brown, and I believe they also have a black if you're looking for that, and they do have, I think, 1 or 2 shades lighter than this. I can't remember how much this is, but I will leave everything in the description box down below if you guys are interested in checking it out. But yeah, so far I like this more than I like the Maybelline item that I tried. But we're going to go ahead and do the eyes, and for that, Pixi sent over some of these called their Eye Reflection Shadow Palettes. I'm going to use the more neutral, cool toned one because that is what I would gravitate towards anyway. These colors look like they're right up my alley. They have a little bit of that sort of grayish tint to it with a little bit of brown. They've got some shimmers and some mattes in here. This other one is called Reflex Light, and it is pretty much just shimmery metallic shades, but they're definitely a lot warmer. And these colors I don't gravitate towards as much, and I know I wouldn't use that gold. The only colors that really jump out to me in this palette are like this sort of beigey color, this copper color, this whole bottom row. But I think I'm going to put this one in a giveaway, so just kind of keep your eyes open for that in the near future. But we're going to go ahead and try this more cool toned neutral palette, and this one is called Natural Beauty. So I think the first color that I'm going to go into is called Rose Clay. It's right here. And I'm just going to take this on my Coastal Scents BR250 brush. And it's like this. And we're going to work that into the crease. Now, remember we put that Camo concealer on here, and I didn't set it. It is a very dry formula because it's not creasing at all, and I didn't set it on my lids, so that tells you right there that it's definitely a drier formula. So this eyeshadow is blending out very nicely. Doesn't seem to be sticking or grabbing or anything on that concealer. Alright, so I'm going to take the same color on the same brush, and I'm just going to go underneath the lower lash line here. Alright, so we're going to deepen it up a little bit. I think I'm going to go down one. This is called Deep Taupe, so I'm going to use that one. And I'm going to use the same brush for now, and I'm just going to concentrate this a little bit more in the crease and the outer V for this one. Okay, so we're going to put down that brush, and then we're going to pick up a smaller brush to do the lower lash line. This is the Crown C528 brush, and it looks like this here. It's kind of like a fluffy precision crease brush or a fluffy pencil brush. But I'm going to go into that same color, which was a deep taupe right here. Just dab that and just concentrate that on the lower lash line here. And then we're going to go one down. I think we're going to go into this color, which is called Bronze Gleam. And we're going to go into that again, and we're going to just tap that over here. This darker shade, I'm having a little bit of trouble with it being patchy. I'm going to grab my other brush that we used for the crease shades, and I'm just tapping into that darker shade. I think using just a little bit bigger fluffy brush will help me out here. Yeah, and that seems to be working out better for me. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now, we're going to do an inner corner highlight real quick here. And that one I'm going to take on this little Sigma brush. This is their smudge brush. It's their E21. I'm going to go into this top color in the corner here called Sheer Sand. It looks like it would be a nice bright inner corner highlight, and we're going to do that. Debating about what I want to put on the lid. Okay, so let's swatch a few of these shades and decide what we want to put on the lid. This one up at the top feels like it's pretty chunky. It's got definitely some more flakes into it, and a little bit more glitter. Oh, sorry, that was over the brow product, but it's a little bit more chunky than I'm looking for. It looks pretty, but I don't want to have to use a glitter glue or anything like that right now, and I know that I would because it would be transferred everywhere. So let's go into, and that one was called Metal Mauve. So let's go into Metallic Rose, which is this color right here, and see what that one looks like. And that one feels like it's a little bit more, like it says, just metallic and not super chunky. Let's see. I think that is going to be the winner because I think the other shades are just a little bit too dark. This one at the bottom called Cocoa Shimmer, I feel like it's one of the shades that I kind of call like throwaway shades. Even though I feel like you would be fine using it as a matte, it has a little bit of gold shimmer in it, which is not going to translate onto the eye at all, so I'm not sure why they include anything like that. And then it's pretty close to the Bronze Gleam, which is right next to it. So I feel like they could have done something different with these two shades because they're actually pretty similar in the palette, so they could have done something else there. But anyway, we're going to go into Metallic Rose. I think that this is just going to perform the best with my finger, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I do that pretty frequently with different shadows, so I'm not opposed to doing that. Yeah, and that's pretty. It's like gold, pink, rose, but not just like straight up gold. Then I think I am going to go into the Cocoa Shimmer, because usually with eyeshadows that have a little bit of shimmer, they blend a little bit better. So I'm going to do that and just deepen out this outer V a little bit more. I'm going to clean off the brush a little bit, and then I'm going to go back into that first color that we used. That one was Rose Clay, and I'm just going to take that above all this that we did, just to blend it back out. Alright, so I'm going to go into Sheer. Nope, I'm going to go into Petal, which is this guy right here, and I'm just going to blend that underneath the brow bone. And I'm just using that same brush that we used in the crease. Okay, what do we think? We got both eyes on. It's just like a nice neutral everyday look, which I guess is what it's supposed to be. Overall, I think this palette is actually pretty good quality. It has some nice just everyday mattes in here and everyday shimmers. If you don't have an extensive eyeshadow collection, I feel like you're going to be pleased with this. Some of the metallics are a little bit chunkier, but I don't feel like it's too chunky to where it is going to be falling all over your face. This one, I would say, if you have hooded eyes like mine, you're going to want to use a sticky base. Likely it is going to fall onto your under eye area. If you don't, I suffer for them transferring anyway, no matter what shadows I'm using, so I'm used to it being more shimmery up further towards the brow. But otherwise, I feel like the majority of these mattes blended just fine. And the metallics, I swatched a few out here. They swatched beautifully. They're just nice, everyday, wearable colors and metallics. You're not going to be disappointed. However, for me, I don't know that this would be something that I would run out and pick up if it weren't sent to me, just because I do already have these colors in my collection. It looks very similar to the original Naked palette. It just has that feel to it, just your go-to everyday pretty looks. So if that's something that you want and you love Pixi, I would say go for it. You're not going to be disappointed. So I've got the Maybelline and Puma collaboration for the mascara. So it's the Maybelline Smudge Resistant Mascara, and the color that I got this in is Very Black. I don't know if it comes in any other colors. That's just the one that I bought. So let's go ahead and check this out. So it seems to have like a standard wand. It's got just not a rubberized wand bristles. It just looks like standard mascara bristles. So let's go ahead and put this on. So far putting it on, I don't feel like the wand is too large. Sometimes I feel like you have a hard time getting it on your eyes because the mascara wand is too big. It makes a mess. Okay, so that's like one good coat. And I don't know how well you guys can see in the viewfinder, because for some reason my eyes look a little bit darker in the viewfinder than they do in this mirror right now, but I feel like it just gives like a nice fluffy natural lash. I don't know what the claims are supposed to be on this. Maybe I should have read up on that, but I don't know if it's supposed to be more of an athletic type of situation where you should be wearing it to the gym if you're going to wear makeup to the gym, or if you're just going to be doing more strenuous activities. But I would use this as an everyday mascara. I don't know if it would be like my going out mascara, but that's just one coat. So I'm going to do another coat and then I'll finish up the other eye. Okay, so that completes the face and the eyes. Like I said, I feel like the eyes turned out really pretty as I was doing the mascara. I actually really quite like that sort of peachy, rose gold tone that we put all over the eyelid. I think it's very pretty. I like that it's just going to be a great everyday look. The mascara I feel like is beautiful as well. It reminds me a lot of the L'Oreal Luminous, I don't know, whatever is their OG one in the black packaging with the gold cap. The brush reminds me a lot of that. Formula reminds me a lot of that. It's just going to be like a great standby. I don't generally have a problem with my mascaras smudging, so that aspect, smudge resistant, is not really a factor for me. I just thought, oh, it's a new mascara, I'm going to give it a try. And I do like it, and I like the bristle, and I like the way that my lashes look. I feel like they just look really nice and pretty. So that I like as well. And so the next thing that I had to buy, and I kind of was like, Jen, why are you doing this? You don't wear bold lips, but Maybelline, they came out with these colors that are supposed to look great on everyone, that they tested it out on like crazy amounts of skin tones, and it's just supposed to look great. And the one color that I find myself never wearing is red. So I thought, why not pick it up and see if it looks great on me? Now, I do have a couple of red colors that I keep in my stash just in case if I feel the need to put a red color on. But in general, I think it looks stunning. I put it on. I think it looks okay. And then before I leave the house, I'm like, no, I'm gonna take it off. So anyway, the one that I picked up was Ruby For Me. And the only red lip liner that I have, and I feel like you have to use a lip liner with this color because it's pretty bold, is from Milani. It's their Color Statement lip liner, and it's just in 02, and it just says True Red. So we're going to go ahead and line the lips, and we're going to put that on. So that is definitely red, my friends. So let's go ahead and put that on and see if it's in fact true that it looks great on everyone. And I'm not really going to overdraw my lips. I'm not very good at doing that, so we're not going to do that. Okay. So I'm not going to fill them in because I do really want to just see the color of this Maybelline lipstick. Does it look like my lips are uneven? I feel like they're uneven naturally. This is the finished look. What do you guys think of this red? I'm kind of looking in the mirror a little bit because I really haven't sat with it for too long. But honestly, I do feel like it's a very pretty red. It seems like a nice blue-based red with a little bit of brightness behind it. And, oh, I have it all over my lips, all over my teeth. I don't know. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this red lipstick looks good on me? I don't know if you guys have ever seen me maybe wear a red lipstick, but like once or twice maybe on my channel, and I've only ever worn one out of the house like once or twice. I picked up a similar color back in the day from M.A.C that I thought was a really nice blue-based red, and I think I want to just do a quick swatch between the two and see what they look like. I feel like they're pretty similar. Obviously the formula is different. I think my M.A.C one is a little bit more matte, but I love the formula of the Maybelline lipsticks. Okay, so the color that I have from M.A.C is M.A.C Red. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch that next to the Maybelline one here. And because I always thought a blue-based red would look the best on me. So this is M.A.C Red, and next to it is the Maybelline one. But they're pretty much the same, color, right? I don't know. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below about the red. Do you think it's the same as M.A.C Red, which is the other blue-based red that it's all over my teeth. The other blue-based red that the only one that I'll really wear. I think it actually looks really pretty. I still don't know if I would leave the house in it. I think it looks really nice with this eye that we did. The thing that I forgot to use is the Pixi Skin Treats Makeup Misting Fix. No, Makeup Fixing Mist. It has rose water and green tea, and let's just go ahead and set the face. Oh, sprayer on that seems, no. The sprayer on this one is not good, so we're not going to use that. It's like spraying out in a streak, so that one's going to be a pass. I'm going to have to put it in a different container. Did it fix itself? Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's just do a quick roundup. I did use the misting fixing mist from Pixi to set that. The sprayer did fix itself, so it's not shooting out in a stream anymore. So let's start off with the primers. Currently looking at this situation with my ring light and the natural light, I don't know that this did a really good job at filling my pores, but usually I don't think most products do. I would say I don't have super large pores, but they are noticeable through here. Right now I still see them. Is it worse than any other day? Maybe just slightly. Not as good as some other days. So I'm going to play around with it a little bit. So far the verdict is out on this. As far as the L'Oreal Visible Lift, their Luminizing Serum Tint, it's alright. It's alright. I don't know that it's a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury one, but I don't have the Charlotte Tilbury one. I feel like that one maybe is a little bit more dewy. I so far like what it does to my skin as far as just moisturizing. I like that I could wear it on a day where I don't want to wear makeup, and it will just sort of smooth it a little bit, give it a little bit of a glow, but not be shimmery or not be pink. So that I do like. I know I'll end up using this up entirely because it's just one of those products that I won't have a problem doing. As far as the Candid foundation, so far I think the color match is good. I think it did turn a little bit on the orangey side since I've been sitting here and doing this video. It didn't stay neutral like I was hoping it was going to be, but a lot of times when things are named beige, they do kind of go that beigey, orangey kind of peachy color, but it didn't really give me any indication what undertones everything was. But so far, I think for picking it out online, I did a pretty good job, and I'll continue to use it. I don't know that it's my favorite with this setting powder from Pacifica. I also don't know if that's part of the issue with my pores right now, so the verdict is out on this powder. I can still see a little bit of that pink shimmer, and I think you can pick up a little bit in the viewfinder. It's not it's not my favorite and it's not what I was hoping for. I was hoping for more of like the hourglass powders. I don't have any, but I see kind of what they do when I watch videos, and it's not that. I'm going to continue to play around with it, but so far it's like, wah, wah. It's not standing out to me. The concealer, I can tell you, I probably will not rebuy. I feel like it's a little bit too heavy. I feel like it's a little bit too drying. The fact that I didn't even have to set it on my eyelids, that's just a sign of how dry this concealer is. Like, I've never not had to set a concealer. So if you do have maybe very oily eyelids, this would be a great concealer for you. If you have trouble finding very fair concealers, check this one out, because this is like almost white, and I know that this was not at all near the end of the spectrum for how light these go. I'll continue to use it as a eyelid primer. I'm not going to be able to use it underneath my eyes anymore, so that was kind of disappointing. The Flower Beauty, I'm actually pretty excited to try other ones. This color is not my favorite. This also could be one of the reasons why I feel like the foundation went a little bit more peach, because it wasn't enough tint for me to look at and be like, oh yeah, that's blush. So I don't know. I would like a different color. I like these. I would like a different color. As far as the mascara, I loved that. As far as the eyeshadow palette, I think it speaks for itself. It's just going to be a nice neutral everyday palette. You're going to get very pretty looks out of it. And as far as the brow marker tattoo thing, no, it's going to be a pass. I would never rebuy this. And if I could, maybe I would return it, but I bought it off of Ulta online, so I'm not sure if I can. The E.L.F. Brow Gel, I do like this. It sets, but it's not super crunchy. It sets matte. It does hold the brows up, but it makes them look kind of soft and a little bit fuzzy, which is kind of cool. And the lipstick, I think it's very pretty, but I think I already have a red that is just like it. So if you already own MAC Red, I would say skip out on this one. But the mists, the verdict, they're still out. I only used them once, but mists are mists. As long as the sprayer is good, generally I like it. This did help take down the powderiness a little bit from that setting spray, and I always like to have these rose priming sprays before doing my makeup. So that's everything, guys. I'm sorry this is probably really long, but I hope you guys enjoyed me trying these things out. If you guys have tried anything, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on the red. Did they look the same to you as they did to me? Because they looked like they were exact to my eye and in the viewfinder. So again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to sit with me and spend it watching one of my videos. I really appreciate it. I know everyone's time is precious, and I thank you for giving me some of your time. But I will see you guys in my next video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.